Hey everyone, welcome to Stratele Studios. I'm Jeff Castanon, and I am back with another installment in the exploration and breakdown of Nightwish's song Romanticide. So, part 4, we are at the solo, and man, I'll tell you, I had such a great time breaking this down. Empu's such an incredible guitar player. In this one solo, he goes through a myriad of techniques. So he starts off with this really cool speed picking part that's slightly muted at the beginning, and then he goes into this really cool sliding lick, which I can't wait to show you that. And then he gets into this just bombastic tapping section, and then tops it all off with a killer dive bomb with his tremolo. So really fun solo. I can't wait to show it to you. So sit back and enjoy, and let's get into this. So what I'd like to do is to start off by just playing the whole solo here that I recorded, and then we'll break it down piece by piece. All right, here we go. All right, boom, boom. That's for the next part. Okay, so yeah, it starts off with this really cool little simple intro. Let me play that for you. All right, very simple. I'll just isolate this for a second so you could hear just the guitar. All right, so after that, it goes into this really cool 8-note, very quick riff with slight palm muting. It's the same notes. It goes down and then it comes back up. It's a little bit tricky because of the speed on these notes and keeping that slightly muted sound happening with it. Let me play that part. Okay, so yes, let me show you a little demonstration of me playing that lick slowly, so you can grab that. Okay, so yes. So that comes into the next section, which is a really cool long lick, and it's this really odd sliding kind of lick. It's this thing slides around. Let me play that for you. Here it goes. Let me back it up a little bit, and then you'll be able to hear this. Okay, so I'm just gonna keep it to that point. Let me play that again. So it's tricky. Let me isolate that. Again, because it's fast, but because of the fingering is not the same throughout all of the positions that you're playing in. So let me just isolate the guitar. Solo, here we go. Okay, one more time. So it's sliding, it's doing this lick, it's going up, it's coming down, and then it's going up higher and coming down, and then it does this little ending riff, descending riff here, right here. Okay, so that's coming off of that sliding lick. So Just one note for you guitar players that are going to attempt to learn this and play this, and how I was able to get it under my fingers, because it was very tricky at first, and then I made a breakthrough with it, and then I was able to play it. And I'll tell you how I went about getting to the point where I was actually able to record this. So the interesting thing about this lick is that you don't want to lift your fingers up off of the fretboard if you can. You actually want to hold your fingers as close to the frets and to keep it on the fretboard as much as you possibly can, because there's this feel that you get when you're playing the lick of sliding on the frets that allows you to play the lick. Because every time I tried to do it without keeping my fingers down on the neck, I would lift and bring down, and my hand would get confused about which note to hit, because the very the first two licks have the same pattern, but then when you slide up to the highest lick on this one, there's one note that's different, and you get very confused by that lick at that higher position. So by keeping my hands down and by repetition and just getting that muscle memory, I was able to do it without thinking about it. Because that's the trick with playing this, is that you if you think about what you're doing, you're dead. You won't be able to pull it off. You actually have to practice it over and over and over till your hand just knows what to do and turn your mind off. So that's a really tricky part of this solo. So let me go ahead and run some footage of me playing that a little bit slower than this speed, so you can check that out. All right. Okay, so yeah, basically what I was saying before about how I got it to the point where I could actually play it and record it is what I did was to take the video into my into my video editor, and to slow it down. And I started at 50%, and I was playing along at 50%. And then I thought, like, oh my gosh, I got a long way to go, right? Playing it at 50% when I first learned the lick was challenging. And I'm like, this is no way I'm going to get this up to speed. But you do, because I just kept practicing the lick, and then I would bump it up by 10%. So I went from 50% to 60%, and then I went 5% increments, 65 and tried to play it, and then 70, tried to play it, and I kept bumping it when I was successful at it, and then I actually pushed it a little bit further, and this technique works not just for this solo, but for anything that you're trying to learn that's challenging and that it's at a quick tempo. This is how I've been able to learn stuff that's fast. Is I continue to increase the speed on it, and I'll also push it to the point like where I can't play it. So I'll push it further. Like I hit this at 90% speed, and I couldn't play it. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm pushing it. And then when I backed it back down to 85, then I was more successful playing it at 85 than I was prior to that. I was having more successes. So you push it past the boundary, and then you back it down, and you almost seem relieved, and that relaxes you. So really an interesting psychological game you play with yourself. But the whole thing really does come down to muscle memory with this kind of stuff, is that you have to practice it. You have to get your hands to do its thing without you thinking about it, because the translation is not going to be fast enough from your brain to your hand if you're thinking too much. Okay, so anyway, onward. So then we do this sliding lick, and then it goes into a little descending, sweet little line here. I'll play that. Let's see. There it is. So we're coming off of that that sliding lick, and there's a sense of relief when if you can make it to that lick, then you're safe. So it's pretty incredible how Empu is playing this live from night to night, because it is a very challenging solo. So yes, and let me put a little video up on just this little lick here. Okay, so following that little lick, we've got this little piece of magic here. Okay, so a little lick and then that bend, and he holds that bend, and then he does this thing. It's kind of an old classic guitar trick from long ago, where I call it the Ace Frehley lick, because Ace Frehley did this all the time. And you bend the note, and then you pluck, 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 and then you release the bend. Okay, so listen for that at the end of this lick. Okay. All right. So yeah, let me play that so you could see that in my slowed down version. Okay, so the next piece, I really like this lick. Okay, so that is also an older lick, and Neil Girardo from Pat Benatar was the first guy that I heard doing this, and he did it a lot, and then other guitar players were doing it a lot back in the 80s. Okay, so yeah, it's a bend, and it's a hammer or tap with the right hand. So you bend it, and then you fret it with the right hand. But the cool thing about this lick is the vibrato. Check this out, because this is the part about it. This is the part that I like. Hear that vibrato? And you're doing that vibrato not with your right hand, but with your left hand. So after you bend and then you hold down that string, you're moving your left hand to get that real cool wobbly vibrato. So okay, so then now we go into this tapping section, and I'm just going to give you a disclaimer now. The notes in this tapping section are more like in the style of Empu, because there's so many notes that are being played here that it's hard to pick them all out. Plus, just to give you a little idea of how I actually was able to transcribe this, I took the live video of Romanticide and I brought it into my video editor, and like I said, I was able to slow it down, so I was able to watch Empu's hand, and listening to what he's playing with watching his hand allowed me to learn it, and to be able to pick it off and get the confirmation and assurance that I was playing the right stuff, because I was watching his hand and what my hand was doing, and I'm like, yeah, that's what he's doing. But on this section, the audio is not matching the video. So they must have come back after the fact, after they shot this footage, and they retracked the audio on this, because he's doing stuff with his hands. When I slow it down at 50%, I could see that the audio is not matching the video. he's doing this stuff with his hand that I'm not hearing at all. So I'm hearing him tap and move his fingers on the fret, and it's only a single note being held out. So they did retract this solo. So that kind of made it very difficult for me to figure out exactly what he was doing. I was trying really hard to match it. But what I did do is I was able to figure out where on the neck he's playing, what notes he was playing generally, and basically the technique that he was employing to be able to do this section. So it did translate very well. My version of it versus what he was doing on the recording. Like I said, it's not note for note, but it's close enough. Let me play a little bit of that, just the guitar isolated. Okay, so there's a couple things to note here. This tapping is ascending, and then when he gets to the highest string, the top string, then he does this double hit on his right hand with the tapping, and that's something that I picked up on the recording. And then just like basically, these are the strings, these are the frets that he's playing around with, and maybe he's playing the notes in different orders, in a different order. But then he finishes off with this lick that ends up on that last note that we're both playing at the end. Let me play with the music too. Okay, so that takes us to another lick here at the end. Okay, so that's, little cool classic little blues lick there. Okay, so then at the end, he does this bend with the bar. It's a dive bomb, we call it. And the thing that I heard on the recording was that there was like two notes being played. It sounded like the note, and there was a harmonic or some sort of doubled note that he was playing. I don't know if he was, it may have been two harmonics that he did together. Couldn't figure that out. I didn't see any footage of him doing it. They cut away, so I couldn't really catch that. But what I did was I did a similar thing, and it gives you definitely the feel by using my Schecter guitar that has this Sustainiac pickup that when I flip this switch, I'm able to get this harmony on top of the note that I'm playing. And let me just play that for you so you can hear what that sounds like. Can you hear that? There's the note, and then there's a high note on top. Okay, so that kind of simulated what he did as well, however he did it, but I was able to do it by kicking on the Sustainiac pickup on my Schecter. So yeah, let me play a little footage of that so that you can see me do that on the guitar. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the solo here. And, if any of you are really, really interested in learning this or whatever, and you need more info on it, go ahead and contact me and I can help you out with it. This video is more of an analysis type of thing. And, I'm sure this whole thing could be tabbed out and all of that. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to do it. I'm not sure if anybody really cares about that, but if somebody was really, really serious about learning this and needed help with it, contact me and I'll help you out. But yeah, let's play this again and give another listen to this brilliant solo. Here we go. All right, cool. So we will be back with the next part. I think it's part 5, maybe, which is continuing on from after the solo. And we got that really killer breakdown that happens at the end. So we'll continue on. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye.